It's the Hollywood Western that was slammed by John Wayne as un-American for its critical portrayal of the community and disrespect towards American law enforcement. That was in 1952.
Yeah, so a bit of a read across, I think you could say. Well, now High Noon has hit the West End in a new stage adaptation. So how does it resonate with audiences today?
Delighted to say, joining us are the stars of this new adaptation that's on in West End, Billy Crudup and Denise Gough. A very good morning to you both.
Thank you
so
much.
for joining us, not least because obviously you were treading the boards until late last night. And Denise, tell us about the Cliff Notes version of the story for those that haven't seen the original.
God, it's so unfair to ask me to do Cliff Notes because I don't do anything in Cliff Notes.
We'll take a long form.
Yeah, do a long form.
We'll be here till this afternoon. It's based on the movie. Obviously, it's the first time it's been adapted into the play, and it's about the marshal of a small town who's called upon to... he's getting married at the beginning of the play, and then his nemesis comes back on the noon train, and so it's like an hour of seeing what he's going to do to protect the community.
And he sort of really stands up for what he believes in, even if those around him aren't backing him?
He does, and he's not entirely sure, but one of the problems for him is that the person that he's married is a pacifist. She's a Quaker. She's sworn off violence and guns. So he turns in his badge and says, "Okay, honey, no more guns." And then the message arrives, "You need guns." And he's like, "Ugh, this is a pickle." So
what are you going to choose?
Leave, and everybody in town is saying, "No, you should get out of here. This is a bad guy." And he's like, "No, I think that this community that I've been a part of for 15, 20 years, they've got great faith in me. They know that I mean to help them have a decent town and decent society, follow the law, that kind of thing." And everybody's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we want to help anymore. We're kind of sleepy." And so they try to bum rush us out of town.
And it brings me, I guess, Denise, to the next question, which is the sort of why now for the adaptation? But these things take a long time to adapt. Is this coincidence that it feels very relevant or long since planned?
I don't know. I find throughout my career, things that I do on stage seem to reflect the times there. It wasn't that we did it because of things that are happening in the world. It seems to me that art reflects back to us, and I think that it's a case of that. And it definitely has themes of what's going on in the world, but I don't think anybody came into it last year thinking that we were going to be where we are right now. It's reflecting something for sure.
It's a lovely way of putting it, that art reflects back to us and how it can, the things that we feel we see in art, in great art, makes us think more deeply about what's going on now. Do you think is that something that you're seeing?
Oh, there's no question. These themes were around 2 years ago. These themes were around 10 years ago, certainly in America. And they're...
and today?
The reason that interesting plays in particular are done again and again and again because people behave the same way again and again and again. Generations forget, so then somebody else has to learn that lesson again. That's why you still do Greek plays. That's why you still do Shakespeare.
Angels in America.
Angels in America.
Yeah, that was huge. Doing that 20 years after it had been written, and yet it still resonated because great writing is timeless, I think.
And it will be there again.
Yeah,
It'll
exactly.
be important to hear that again.
Yeah.
What is your view, Billy, from London over the last few weeks of what's unfolding?
Things are great.
We're all super happy.
This is, it's a very difficult time to understand and be articulate about, particularly if you're living as saying somebody else's words. I've taken this job because I felt I could be more eloquent with somebody else's ways of phrasing things. So then to be in a position where you're meant to explore and talk about the kinds of complex issues that are happening on the ground in America in real time, it's not an easy thing to do, to be frank. But I do feel that the play and what Eric has done with it, and Thea, our director, and our entire ensemble, speaks to people trying to understand what's happening right now, trying to empathize with the kinds of positions people are being put in.
It's a very classically American story. Does it resonate well, do you think, with the British audience, the West End audience?
Yeah, it seems to. I mean, I don't think that everything that's happening now happens in other places too. I feel like we can relate because it happens all over the world. Like for me, playing Amy as a pacifist, it's an incredibly brave thing to be in a lawless society, to be somebody who believes in non-violence, and yet people are forced into positions that they wouldn't. I feel like the play is saying, what would you do? And I feel like any work that I do, I'm always asking an audience to think, well, what would I do in that situation? And that's all I can offer as an artist, is to ask that question in my work so that I can be part of some conversation, I guess. Because I'm not a politician or somebody who's educated in all ways around things. I'm still learning myself, but doing this play allows me to be in a position where I can ask people, what would you do in the same situation?
Billy, I was listening quite closely to what you said previously about the importance of empathy and understanding different positions. But if you look at what's happening in the States right now, we've also seen, I guess, former presidents coming forward, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama saying, now's the time to speak out and to stand up. Otherwise, those American values that have been there for so long are at risk. I just wondered your reflections on that. Do you agree with them?
Well, when I read this play, I was on a plane coming back from London, having just done a solo performance here on the West End, which was a fantastic experience. But when I found the play arresting then, and my response to Eric is, this needs to be up and running right now. People need to be shouting about this right now. So I've felt that about the kind of trajectory of American discourse and our inability to navigate the conflicts that we have with one another for some time. I was born in 1968, probably around the time that Robert Kennedy was murdered, and I can remember the feeling of discord from a very early age. My father was a conservative, my mom was a liberal.
That must have been interesting dinner party chats.
Fascinating. Well, they were divorced at a certain point, then they remarried each other, then they got divorced again. So that kind of sounds like America. We get married to each other, then we get divorced, and then we say, you look nice now, come on, let's get back together, or we fight too much. And so there is an aspect to it that's very familiar, unfortunately. But I do believe in the aspirational idea of America more than anything, that we will keep working towards a more perfect union, even through these conflicts. So,
and you still believe that now?
I still. I'm out here doing the play. I'm shouting about it every night.
Can I end, if given that we're a morning show, can I end with a morning show question?
Certainly. Which get into Corey mode.
Obviously,
firing.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, obviously you play a, not us, please.
All right.
I'm going to hide.
See how you do with the question.
Well, I was going to say you play a power crazy, ruthless media
Really hard
boss,
for me to get into it. You can see.
which is fictionalized.
That's
media
correct.
Boss.
That's right.
None of our bosses are at all like that. Of
Yeah,
course.
we love the bosses. They're
bosses.
great. They're lovely.
They're actually in this building today. They're not always in this building.
We particularly love the guys who
You're
are here.
protesting a lot.
I know what they're thinking.
My question was actually whether or not, I love that you guys have dramatized to such great success what is sort of the old bastion of network news, the morning show on a traditional channel. And I almost sort of wonder whether maybe this is for future seasons, or whether you look back on it, whether it should have been about a YouTube influencer, or it's just a really interesting snapshot in time as things have transitioned, as this show has come out.
I confess that was another thing that drew me to that material when I read it. Some of the things that I loved growing up were broadcast news and network, ways to talk about the influence of news on society and society's influence on news, and that continuing discourse, to me, in an entertaining way, it's a great opportunity to feel useful. Back to your point of like being a performer, if you can be useful in some of the work that you do, it's hard to be in a position where you feel useful in your work. So that's one of them.
Well, fantastic stuff, guys. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Good luck with the ongoing run of High Noon to rave reviews in the West End. Billy Crudup and Denise Gough.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having us.
Thank you.